Hello. Today we'll start with the 11th class next chapter, that is regarding the morphology of the flowering plants. Now, if we are saying that what is a morphology? So if we negate the thing out here, that so here we'll start with the topic today, that is the morphology. When we say morphology, it means that morpho, that is the appearance, the outer appearance of the. And when we say logy means the study. So when we are studying the morphology of flowering plants, it means that we will study the large variety of the angiosperms. Because angiosperms are all around, we can see the flowering plants. We can't study about the gymnosperms or the bryophytes because we know that the particular plant does not bear the flowers. So there is a lot more population of angiosperms than any other phylum of the plant. So when we are reading about this angiosperms, we're showing a large variety in the morphology, and possibly there is a variation in different parts, which is due to the adaptations in various habitats. So various adaptations are there. Various adaptations are present in the angiospermic plants. Then there is a specific parts of a plant which we'll study is the root system and the shoot system. It's very clear from the word itself when we see a plant, we can see the various plants with different structures are out there. If we see, like if you're seeing the green plant, what we'll see, we can see the green parts of the plant, just making the different parts of the plant. We can see if a particular plant present. Let me use the color. I'll draw it here again. Just wait a minute. If a plant is growing here, we can see the green plant, as well as if we need to see the root system of a plant, then later on we can see the root system, and probably if we see the different parts of the plant which have the different types of leaves and the different types of the roots. It might be the fibrous roots or a root which is singly going inside with the little fibers giving rise. These types are the tap roots. So when we are studying about it, we see that the one which is towards the root, we can say it as positive geotropism is being shown by the roots, whereas negative geotropism shown by the shoot system. Same as if we say that, will it be right to say it's a negative phototropism, which is shown by the roots, and positive for the shoot, for the stem, to show the phototropic effect? So, these phototropic movements can be shown by the different root and shoot system. So, we say that the part which is above the ground is the shoot system or the shoot, and the part which is underground or under the soil, that is called as the root system. So when we are talking about this, we say that if we talk first about the roots only, we say there is a, when the plant or when the smaller parts that are the plumule and the radicle, which you have studied before also, start growing from the seed, we say that the plumule will give rise to the shoot or the stem, and the radical part will give rise to the root or the root system. Specifically, when we'll see the seed structure, at that moment we can see that what exactly is. So, when we now talk about the root part, let us take the root first. The root, we say that elongation of radical from the primary root. There is an elongation of radical. Now, radical is the part which grows from the seed. Elongation of the radical from forms the primary root. As if I draw a structure of a root, see how it's growing. If it grows typically straight down, and it has been protected by, every time a pen is also protected by a root cap. So it's a root cap which protects the tip of that root region. So we say that this region is region of a meristematic activity, or the region of the highly active cells. So this region down is the region of meristematic activity. Now, meristematic activity means they are actively dividing cells, as well as we say that there is a thimble like structure which protects the tip of the root. The thimble like structure. covering the root apex. So this region been called as a region of the meristematic sphere, which consists of the, now what is the actually nature of these? The nature of this cells are that these are small, thin walled cells. Small, thin walled cells with dense protoplasm. As well as when we see the region which is above this, there's a region of elongation. Now, this is the region where the cells of the region gradually differentiates and mature, means that it has to be grown. The cell need to grow as the cells are first smaller, they divide, and now they will elongate to increase the size. So here we say what is the nature here? The cell of this region is gradually differentiating. The cell is very differentiating and getting matured. Later on, after this region, a region comes when this part consists of various elongations, means various root hairs, but we call it as a root hairs. So we say that if it is a root hairs, means this region is now called as a region of maturation. Now, what exactly these are doing? These are some of the epidermal cells of the region from the root hairs. Means these arise from the epidermal cells. And we all know that it's the root hairs which enter the spaces between the soil particles and help in the absorption of the water and the minerals. So, this is exactly the structure or the regions of the root when we talk about. So, when we talk about that, now this is the different regions of the root, we say that there are different types of roots also, which are usually you have studied before also, that is the tap root, and we have read in the gymnosperms as sequoia, which is the tallest tree, which consists of the taproot because they get hold of the soil inside, deeper inside. And fibers are usually present in the grasses. So when we talk about the taproot, it will include what? It will include the primary roots and its branches. And when we talk about the fibrous roots, this way can say fibrous root, we say it is usually high. Yes, it's a character. Tap root, we also say that it's a characteristics of the dicot plants. Dicots, two cotyledon, which are having the two cotyledonal structure, as in mustard, pea, pulses, and fibrous are the characteristics of the monocots, means single cot when the seed is singly having a single cot. Like if you see a wheat seed, what we see? A single seed. Rice we see a single seed. Yes. So it can't be broken, or we can say it can be broken into the two chords. So the fibrous are the characteristics of the monochord. Here, now what is the character of the primary roots here? The primary roots here is short-lived and replaced by, now what they will be replaced? Replaced by large number of roots from the base of the stem itself. Stem. So it's clear from here, if it's a tap root, it will be in the dicots, and if it is a fibrous root, is the characteristics of the monocots. One more type of root is present here. We call it as adventitious roots. Now, where we can find these roots? These arise from the other parts of the plant. The roots that arise from other parts of the plant. Like not other than other plants of the plant, other than the radicle, not giving rise from the seed itself. Example is the grass. Now, what if you see the grass? If you see the grass like this, you see the long branches where we can find more of the roots, है ना? ऐसे grow कर जाता है. Same as if you see the banyan tree, you can see the lot more roots arise from the branches itself and get submerged around the ground. So we say that these are the different parts of the stem which give rise to the different roots. The function is roots. These are the negative dewdrop. It's growing down. So some are prop roots coming outside for the respiration. Yes, they are down. So we can say that the function of the root is here. What's the function of root here? Very clear from here. Starting from the lower classes. Function is the absorption of water and minerals. Very important work of the root. Mineral from soil. Second important, it's provide anchorage. Means to stand still on the ground. Then the next is the storage of the reserve food materials. How? What about the radish, the carrots? These all are acting as the storage food material. Then if we talk about the specific, now if we talk about the roots always have at the tip certain regulators, same as the stem tip, है ना? Tip तो एक ही होती है. These have a special activating cells here. So we say some kind of a regulator of the hormones are present there. So we say this part synthesizes plant growth regulators. Of the synthesis of the plant growth regulators as auxins or cytokinins or gibberellins. So this way we can say that different roots play different roles. So if we talk about some of the modifications now, let us talk about the modifications. Modifications means if certain kind of changes are there in the roots, like if it is acting as a storage, we all know storage as the carrot turnip, they're all acting as the storage organ. That means the tap root, it's a tile like a tap root, na? Because radish and this way, and a tap root modification. So when we talk about the adventitious, now what is the modification of the adventitious roots? Where you will find it out? You can find it out in the sweet potato. All have seen the sweet potato? Now, little more that was I was talking about previous also, the prop roots, which arises from the branches and to support them, like in banyan tree. Then there are some kind of a stilt roots also that come out from the lower nodules, like in sugarcane. If we want to grow the sugarcane, we take that part from the lower nodules, these type of roots grow. These are called as the stilt roots. Maize also we can say. अगर आप मेज का स्टिक निकालते हो ग्राउंड से, we can see at the lower there are lot more stilt roots or the roots are present which come out from the lower nodules. Then next is the pneumatophores. Their root growing vertically upward for oxygen in plant of the swampy areas like in rhizophora. We can see that the pneumatophores they root vertically upwards. Now from here they form some kind of upward movement for the oxygen, especially in the swampy or the marshy areas. So these are the different modifications, the different types of roots which are present. And when we're talking about the morphology, we'll study here about how the root appears and how there's a different system here. So I think so it's clear from the topic over here, morphology. Now further, we have talked today about the roots. Now we'll talk about the shoot in the next video. Thank you. Hope you understood the topic.